Ask me on a date, men. Modern women has meltdown because men are walking, always working away. Today we're going to dive into some real talk about relationships, dating, and how things are today. You might have noticed how dating can be super confusing, and sometimes it seems like there's no one on the same page. We're going to break down some of the key points, share some comments, and see if we can figure out what's going on in modern relationships. Let's get into it. The struggles in modern dating. So, what's the deal with dating today? It's tough, right? You see women out there struggling to find a normal guy. And a lot of times, guys don't seem interested in having a real relationship. Why? Well, they're distracted by things like social media, fake worlds, and sometimes even things like dating apps. Instead of connecting with real people, it feels like they're more focused on fantasy worlds. And ladies, we have to be honest here. Feminism promised that women could jump from one partner to the next without facing any consequences. But is that really true? The idea that there's always going to be someone waiting for you at the end of the rainbow just isn't how it works. Real life is different from the fairy tales, right? Why modern men are picky. Here's the thing. A lot of women complain that guys don't want to settle down with them. But here's the truth. Men have standards too. They want someone who hasn't had too many partners. When a man expresses his desire for this, he's often labeled as insecure or toxic. But let me tell you, ladies, this could actually mean that he's serious and sees long-term potential with you. Guys have feelings too. And when a man sets boundaries, it's usually because he wants something real. Yet, too often, these men are accused of being controlling, when really, they're just being careful with who they invest their time and emotions in. Why women are often chasing the wrong guys. Okay, let's talk about something that happens a lot. Women chasing after the bad boy, or the guy who's emotionally unavailable. They're fun at first, but they're usually not the ones who are ready for a serious relationship. And then when things fall apart, it's the guy's fault, right? But here's the real issue. There are plenty of average guys who would be great partners. They are often overlooked, stuck in the friend zone, or simply not given a chance. These guys are looking for someone who values them for who they are, not just for their looks or money. You might be thinking, but I want someone who's tall, rich, and perfect, but that might not be as realistic as you think. In reality, the guy who's 5 feet 9 inches and earns an average salary might be the one who is most likely to treat you right. So why ignore him for the guy with all the flashy stuff? The irony in expectations. Let's face it, we all have our expectations. Women want someone with certain qualities and men want the same. But here's where it gets ironic. Women want the perfect guy, but they often won't settle for an average guy who's looking for a real, honest relationship. Women often criticize men for having standards, yet they do the exact same thing in reverse. It's not always fair, and it's a little hypocritical. Think about this. The average guy who's trying to find a connection is often dismissed because he doesn't meet the perfect image many women are looking for. But in reality, he's probably the most genuine guy you'll meet. The modern woman's dilemma. Now, let's talk about the behavior of modern women and how they handle their relationships. There's a trend where women wear certain clothes to attract attention, even when they're in a relationship. They might go out dressed provocatively, hoping for compliments or validation, but what does that say about their respect for the relationship? If you're in a relationship, you have to understand that what you do reflects not just on you, but also on your partner. If you're wearing something that's designed to get attention from others, it might send the wrong message. And it's not about shaming anyone for their choices. It's about understanding how those choices impact your relationship. The manipulation tactics. Now, here's something that's really important. Have you ever noticed how some people act when they get caught doing something wrong? Like, when a woman cheats and gets caught, the next thing you know, she's crying and begging her partner to take her back. But hold up, are those tears really about regret? Or is it just about the fear of losing the comfortable life she had with him? A lot of the time, When women cry and beg for forgiveness, it's not because they feel guilty about what they did. It's more about realizing what they stand to lose: the lifestyle, the comfort, the security. The key is to see through these emotional outbursts and understand whether they're genuine or just a tactic to manipulate the situation. Accountability and the blame game. Here's the thing: when people mess up, they don't always want to take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they try to put the blame on others. Women will often get upset and try to play the victim when they're the ones who made bad choices. It's so easy to blame others for your bad decisions, but accountability is key. We need to be mature enough to own up to our actions and deal with the consequences. And men, don't fall for the manipulation. Don't let anyone guilt trip you into taking them back when they don't deserve it. The case of the fantasy relationship, and here's a big issue: the whole idea of a fantasy relationship. The world of dating and relationships today is full of unrealistic expectations, driven by things like movies, social media, and influencers. The fantasy version of love doesn't exist, and it's important to see through that illusion. When you start chasing the fantasy, you might miss out on the reality of what a healthy, real relationship looks like. It's not about perfection or meeting some impossible standard. It's about two people who care about each other, who trust each other, and who respect each other's choices. Conclusion: the importance of real love. At the end of the day, relationships aren't about playing games or living in a fantasy. They're about connection, respect, and understanding. If you want something real, you need to be willing to work for it. And sometimes that means letting go of unrealistic expectations and being open to someone who might not fit all the perfect boxes. So guys, what's the lesson here? Don't let yourself get caught up in the fantasy. Don't let anyone manipulate you or make you feel like you're not good enough. The right person for you is out there, but sometimes it's the average guy or girl who will treat you right. Outro. Keep it real. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you experienced any of these issues in your relationships or seen them play out in your life? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content. Remember, relationships are all about keeping it real and respecting each other. Until next time, peace.